Infectious and non-infectious diseases. Infection. What is infection? Infection is a well-known word. A person suffering from disease comes in contact with another person who becomes a prey of that disease. That is called infection. Disease caused by bacteria, virus and fungi can be infectious. Core of the germ and bacteria from the body of a diseased person reaches bodies of other animals via some way and causes disease in them. This bacteria enters human bodies through the medium of air or dust, through water, milk or food, through bites or stings of animals or insects, through person contact or through respiration or excreta, that is urine, of a disease carried person, and can cause disease. When a disease is spread through bacteria from one animal to another animal, we call that disease. Let's talk about germs and how they cause the diseases. Germs and germ carriers. Now what are germs? Germs are small living creatures. Insects, it could be insects. They come from animal kingdoms, they come from plant kingdoms, and for example, things which are coming from animal kingdom are like mosquitoes, which cause malaria and whatever thing, like parasites there. And whatever coming from plants, they are called bacteria, which come under the plant kingdom. These are viruses of different types of things. Now, all these things cause lots of things. Even fungi is also coming from a plant kingdom, right? Now, there are certain things which come in a different manner. For example, I'll just explain that. Now, how these germs infect us and in what way they infect us, right? So, when it drops of food or other things, fungi increases. Now, jaisa ke we keep something somewhere and it just stays there. Fungi collects on it, something green or something like a bubbly thing comes over it, that is fungi. Fungi anyhow enters the body, reproduces themselves, it makes many diseases. Some of the diseases are useful to man and some are not. Now the ones which are useful to man is like this. For example, milk. In milk also, it converts and becomes into curd, right? Due to certain bacteria. Okay, some bacteria help in preparing alcohol. In the flour also of dokla. We like to eat dokla, no? So in that also certain things are used so that the dokla just swells up and becomes nice and tasty. Alcohol is also prepared from sugar with the help of bacteria, right? So these certain things are useful, certain germs are useful, certain are dangerous, which can cause us to feel sick. Okay, so let's talk about these bacteria, how they enter the system, right? Human system, right? Now there are 4 to 5 ways which this system goes, this bacteria get into our body. We have to understand it very well. First way is through diet. What's diet? Whatever we eat, drink, like that. So here there are some food, water or milk, right? Now bacteria of some diseases enter human body through polluted water or food. Now why polluted food? Anything which is kept open and we eat it, we can fall sick. Food poisoning, right? Yeah. Bacteria of diseases like cholera, typhoid, dysentery, worms and jaundice we can suffer with. Then we have through direct contact. Now what's direct contact? Not fighting or anything, but direct contact means somebody having any kind of a rash, scabies kind of rash, ringworm, eczema, like red patches and they scratch or something, जो कभी जल्दी heal नहीं होता. Leprosy, smallpox, measles, chickenpox. Now chickenpox, I think all of you should be knowing. This is there in the all this infection which I spoke about is there in your science book, so it will be easier for you to understand. This is not the PT lesson. It just basically give you a rough idea how you can protect yourself from such kind of things, right? So if anybody is having chickenpox or any such things, better to stay away from them, right? And through animals and insects. Now why animals and insects? Now all of you know mosquitoes, monsoon season especially, the malaria germ, bacteria gets into mosquito, and then when the mosquito bites us humans, we get infected, and that's how we get malaria. Then we have disease which we get spread like rabies. Now rabies come through animal bites, but if the animal is suffering with that kind of a disease, only then we get that we get affected with rabies. It's always better to take precautions. If we get bitten by animal, we should go and get checked by a doctor, and the needful should be done, right? People even get sick bacteria through fleas and flies, right? This is also one thing. So now coming through rubbing of skin. Skin is the best protection for the body. It covers the entire body, but still there are sometimes bacteria get into the human body through rubbing of skin or cutting. Now cutting, when I say, sometimes we are playing, or we don't notice something, and we get cut with some metal piece, or we fall on the road or in the ground or something, and we get scraped. Then you go to the doctor. The doctor says, "Iska tetanus ka blast liya." He has to take a tetanus injection. That is only to prevent you from getting any infection. New things like what are disease holders, also called carriers. Right? Some people are such that they carry bacteria in themselves which do not affect them. Okay, as because the immunity is so good, it fights against such kind bacteria. But these diseases or these bacteria, when it comes in contact with somebody else or another body, then what happens? This disease can affect them and make them ill. Such people are called disease carriers. People who carry the disease and which the disease do not affect them. In such a way, when a man becomes free from certain diseases, he is called, or he is a carrier of a bacteria for some days. Hence, that disease can affect other people or other persons. Now in this way, diarrhea, typhoid, etc. spread through disease carriers, right? Somebody may be having the disease, but it may not affect them. But if they come in contact with somebody else, the person or whoever comes in contact with, they can get affected very badly with this particular disease. So how do we prevent getting infected with diseases? Is simply avoid staying in dark places, closed places, very humid places. Do not eat foods which are kept open for long. Rotten fruits or thing. That if you see any fruit which is rotten, better don't eat it, because it could be having some kind of bacteria. These are the areas where bacteria intend to grow. Okay, that is from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8. They just keep multiplying themselves and can cause problems for the body. Right. Second thing is stay in beautiful sunlighted open places. Right. If your doors and windows can be kept open so that the atmosphere can keep exchanging, coming in and out. Okay, it's very necessary. The more ventilated your houses or your places, the better you're free from bacteria. Second thing is try to think, because atmosphere is the only thing which can control bacteria and destroy them. So best and safest way to keep oneself free from disease is these things. Second thing is obviously keep yourself physically fit. A little bit of running is good. A little bit of exercise is good. If you cannot run and do exercise, simply just go for a walk around the building, and I think that should help out. So how do we prevent getting infected with diseases? Is simply avoid staying in dark places, closed places.